Thursday, Fonzie joins the band.
Father!
On the season premiere of Joni Loves Chachi.
Fella, that you can't guess what.
Then meet a singing sensation and her overprotective father.
She's becoming a big girl, right, Rossetti?
Right.
Wrong!
The premiere of Star of the Family. Then Too Close for Comfort moves to Thursdays.
The limo's back and gone!
And the baby's born on the special one-hour season premiere.
It's here.
On One Life to Live, Cassie's innocent date turns into a kidnapping, and the Blood Moon killer is revealed.
Now you know, huh?
If I hadn't lied, she'd be there with Gary instead of with Kyle.
And on the edge of night,
Even the joys of spending money begin to pale. I need something more. I need responsibility. I have to settle down.
Are you asking me?
One Life to Live, the edge of night, weekdays.
Tomorrow, catch 3 season premieres. First, Jack and Janet have an affair to remember on Three's Company. Then the hottest office staff around returns on the new 9 to 5. And cover up for a deadly bed chase on Heart to Heart. It all starts tomorrow at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
Hartman, tomorrow, news from Lebanon. Also, Mike Douglas and John Voight. Wednesday, Dinah Shore on Good Morning America. An informative way to start your day.
Gavin saves Jody and finds a new way into her heart. Watch The Edge of Night, following FYI with Al Linden, next on ABC.
The People's Court today at 4:30.
You were married to the man, Miss Alexander. You were married to Jefferson Brown. You must have had those long, quiet, intimate conversations in the middle of the night. Married couples do. Didn't you know he kept a diary? A woman like you would always know. Weren't you curious? Did you wonder about his fidelity?
No.
With a husband like Mr. Brown, you'd have to.
No.
What does the diary mean? What do all those strange letters and numbers mean? Are they a code? For women, perhaps?
Oh, no, he loved me. This guy loved me. He still does.
The Lord helps those who help themselves. Not many people have the privilege of dying in their sleep. Good night, pretty raven.
What the hell's going on here?
Mr. Devereaux, we weren't expecting you.
Surprise, surprise.
Who is it?
Are you all right?
Who are you? Please, why are you asking me all these questions? I don't know anything.
Well, all I asked was if you were all right.
No, I never saw the diary before. I don't know anything.
Well, that makes 2 of us, doesn't it? But suppose you start by telling me what you're doing here.
What?
Well, did your car break down? Were you ill on my doorstep? Are you George's visiting niece or something? It's not that I object to finding beautiful women in my bed. It's just that I get curious about how they got there.
But, well, they brought me here.
And who might they be?
He said he was a counter-espionage agent.
And what name did he give you?
Foley.
George?
Yes, Foley. He said he was with the CEA.
Well, I had no idea George was moonlighting. Perhaps I don't pay him enough.
No, he said I was a spy. And that my husband was a spy, but it's not true.
Now, wait one moment. Yes, the pupils are dilated. That means one thing.
They drugged me. They wanted me to tell them something, but... Oh, please help me. I don't know anything.
You know, I'm beginning to think you mean all this. And that I should ask George a few questions. Excuse me.
The Edge of Night is brought to you by Advanced Formula Crest with Fluorostat. Fighting cavities is the whole idea behind Crest. And by Safeguard Deodorant Soap. People like Safeguard so much it's always the smallest soap in the house.
If your husband is doing as well as you told me, how come he makes you use these little bits of soap?
Mom, this is our Safeguard. It's little because it's our favorite soap.
Oh, I tried that.
If you tried Safeguard, you'd probably still be using it.
I'm sure I tried it.
I'm sure you haven't.
Well, Grandma, there's only one way to find out.
I don't remember it smelling this fresh, but I bet it doesn't have the protection my soap has.
Wrong, Mom. You can't buy soap with more deodorant protection than Safeguard.
Check the lather, Grandma.
Incredible. Most soaps don't lather up this rich, even when they're big.
But, Mom, I thought you said you tried Safeguard.
Your little Safeguard is so good. If I tried it once, wouldn't I still be using it?
Just try Safeguard. See if it doesn't become the smallest soap in your house.
Did you brush your teeth yet?
Math test tomorrow.
Can't help you with metrics.
I thought you knew everything.
Hey, I do about some things, like cavities.
Oh.
I know you could get even fewer than I did.
How you know that?
Because I know Advanced Formula Crest has Fluorostat.
So?
Compared to the Crest I grew up on, it's even tougher.
My homework's tougher, too.
Quit worrying. You always make Mom and me real proud.
With Crest, your kids could have even fewer cavities than you did.
Now you can get your kids this Crest Team T-shirt free by mail when you buy 5 large tubes of Crest, so they can fight those cavity creeps coming and going. See details at participating stores.
It's true. I'm not the great-great-great-grandchild of Marie Bonaventure. I'm not the descendant of the martyr of Eden. Isn't that funny? Isn't that the best joke you ever heard in your life?
Yeah, the best. How do you know for sure?
Because Chad, just a little while ago, decided to tell me the truth, finally.
Oh, finally! You know what's been going on? The entire government is falling apart. The president's resigned.
Yeah, I know. I was there when Mr. Ronaldo told Chad.
That's all they're talking about out there. Nobody's even watching the pageant anymore. And some of the big shots that were here yesterday have already jumped in their cars and headed for the hills.
Well, you know, all I can hope for is that it was worth it and that it's going to mean something.
Well, Chad's father said that he was going to take all the crooks out of government, take them with him when he goes.
Chad is leaving also. His father wants him to come home, and he wants to be with his father. He's going to need his help right now.
You're the one who helped him, Jody, doing what you did. And you still tell me it's a lie?
Yeah. Chad was the one that made it all come true. He knew right along that I was not the person of that prophecy, nor was my mother. My mother had a boyfriend that came from Eden, and he recognized the resemblance right away, but he decided to use it in a different way. He was a con man.
He must have done a very good job.
Oh, he did a great job. He convinced everybody of her ancestry, including her. However, Chad knew it wasn't true, but he also knew that he could help his father and his country if he made it true.
Well, Chad was a con man, too. He convinced you of the same thing?
Yeah, I guess you could say that, except he didn't do what he did for money.
Well, what about the portrait? It looked a hell of a lot like you. Was that a coincidence?
No, it wasn't.
Well?
Chad painted it.
He what?
He painted it. He painted the portrait, and then he told everybody that the second martyr had arrived.
Well, you know, you came This close to being just that. The second martyr.
Well, Chad promised me nothing would happen to me, and what can I say? Nothing did.
Yeah, but he put your life on the line, Jody. I can't forgive him for that.
Gavin, he said exactly the same thing, except that it was very important to him, and unfortunately, it became very important to me.
Well, that's for sure. I was beginning to wonder whether you could be involved with me and be the martyr of Eden at the same time.
Well, I'm not her. And she isn't my ancestor. So there's nothing to worry about. I just can't help feeling as if I've lost something.
Really don't feel good about this, Chief. I wish it didn't have to happen.
Look, nobody likes being responsible for another man's death. I don't think you had much choice, though.
Oh, especially in this case, it was kill or be killed.
That becomes a way of life in this business, doesn't it?
And,
Well, I sure wish Joe Bulmer was still alive. I'd like to play 20 questions with him, find out a few things about what happened in Raleigh Castle. And I'd also like to ask him about his relationship with Eddie Lorimer and Dwight Endicott.
Well, we know that he wanted to kill Jody Travis. We just don't know who ordered him to.
How do you know that order didn't come from Lorimer himself?
Well, we don't have any evidence that indicates that, especially after what happened in Eddie's office.
Get a statement?
Yeah, it's being typed up right now for Eddie to sign. Eddie claims that Bulmer was hitting him up for some getaway funds.
It's the second time he's been hit up for money.
Yeah. Well, this time Bulmer wanted Eddie to open up his safe for him. He was marching Eddie downtown with a gun at the back of his head.
And that's when they saw you in the outer office, huh?
Yeah. I guess Bulmer just freaked out. He probably thought that I was there to arrest him for shooting Chad Sutherland. I didn't even know the shooting had happened.
Well, this guy's fired his last shot, at least.
Why do you think Bulmer shot Chad, anyway?
I don't know. There's a lot of things I don't know in this case, but I do know one thing. If there is a connection between the underworld here in Monticello and the government of Eden, this Joe Bulmer's got something to do with it.
Yeah. And so does his boss, our friend Eddie Lorimer.
Marty, will you calm down, Marty? Listen, don't believe everything you hear on the radio. Of course they lie on the radio. What do you think you can't see them for? That's why. All right, listen, Marty, I gotta go. I got something very important to do here. Hey, listen, it is true about Joe, yeah. Well, he got careless, he got stupid, now he's getting buried. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Don't worry about it. I'll find out. Goodbye. Mr. Arnold, I'm glad to see you.
How do you, Mr. Lorimer? How very nice of you.
You know, this whole town is going crazy. The phone's been ringing off the wall over here. Everybody's looking for answers. I got nothing to tell them.
I'm very sorry that you are so inconvenienced.
Well, it would be terrific if you could just tell me what the hell is going on around here.
That's why I'm here, Mr. Lorimer. Not to tell you what is going on, to tell you what is going off.
When I tell my daughter Arnold called 17 times, I make it stick.
When my mom tells me to walk Ralph, she makes it stick.
When Marilyn says stick to your diet, she makes it stick.
New Scotch brand Post-it notepads from 3M. Self-adhesive note papers that won't leave a mark when removed.
So when you tell your daughter that Arnold called 18 times, use Post-it notes.
Post-it notepads. They really make your message stick.
Smells like someone's baking bread.
Oh, it's coming, yeah, yeah. There's a new loaf coming, yeah, yeah. And it's gonna rise, rise, rise in your oven. Yeah, yeah. It's new from Pillsbury, and it's called Piping Hot Bread. Fresh on your table. Piping Hot Loaf, melting that butter. Piping Hot Loaf from Pill.
New Piping Hot Loaf in the dairy case.
Pillsbury.
You are quite right in this matter. There have been drastic changes back home in my government. I can safely predict there will be more.
Hey, it's your country. That's your business. I'm worried about my business.
Oh, yes, your business. The arrangements you have with my country, the trade agreements.
Yeah, what about those things?
Well, I'm sorry to inform you, you may consider them all canceled.
Are you kidding me or what? Hey, a deal is a deal. A contract is a contract.
Only when it is mutually agreeable.
And who says it's not? You?
I am but a humble emissary.
Oh, come on, don't give me that garbage, will you? Every time I try to get an answer out of you, you give me that Charlie McCarthy routine.
I'm very sorry. I do not connect that reference.
You don't, huh? Well, let me tell you something. You're not talking for anybody else, are you? You're talking for yourself, aren't you?
Yes. Finally, I can speak for myself. I can assure you, it is a great relief.
Sure. So you're the guy who's going to welch on this whole deal, huh?
I've talked to my superiors. The president of Eden has resigned his office, not before he has dismissed the entire cabinet, and there is now a new provisional government in Eden.
Well, let me tell you something. I don't give a damn about your political garbage. You understand that?
Mr. Lorimer, hear me out. This provisional government, their first act was to declare null and void all agreement between Eden and your country. There will be no more shipping of orders.
All right, let me tell you something. I got a lot of friends over there. You understand that?
Then you will be happy to hear you will be seeing them soon. They are all going to be deported.
What are you talking about?
Yes, your friends are coming home, including Mr. Endicott. I'm sure you'll be happy to see him.
Where did you get that crazy idea?
Well, I understand you have not been too successful with his art gallery.
Oh, no? I sold the picture.
I do not think I have anything more to say.
Well, let me tell you something. I got something more to tell you. If you think this little affair is over, you're crazy. We'll be back.
Mr. Lorimer, we are a very small country. But we do have a well-trained militia. Let me suggest, when you and your friends come back, that you arrive by battleship.
Hey, what the hell is going on here anyway? Whose side are you on?
Mr. Lorimer, finally I have discovered whose side I am on. Now, if you will excuse me, I am going home. And even if you do not, I am still living. For home.
Right.
I already told him, Dee Dee. You want the story, you ask the cops.
I want to hear it from you, Troy.
Why? 'Cause you want to defend me? Forget it, Dee Dee.
Well, rules have been waived before.
Hey, Key, you're too expensive for me. I can't afford your fees.
Well, we'll make some kind of arrangements then. Hey, look, Troy, would you forget for once that I'm a lawyer and remember that I am your sister?
Yeah, and you better forget that I'm your brother, okay?
I don't want to hear you talk like that, Troy.
Come on, I'm trying to be noble like in the movies. Give me a break, all right?
Troy, I love you.
Yeah, cheap sentiment again, eh, Dee Dee?
Okay, it's cheap sentiment. Maybe that's why I'm here, and maybe that's why you should let me help you.
You can't help me. I killed a cop. The next stop for me is the death cell.
Where's the fire, boys?
Hey, just a practice run, Rosie. Whoops.
No wonder you guys wear raincoats.
Oh, get something quick.
Relax. Bounty starts quicker.
Wow.
So you finish quicker.
Quicker than other towels?
Yep. Watch. A top challenger against Bounty.
Hey, Bounty starts working a lot quicker.
Right. Bounty starts quicker.
So, you finish quicker.
You bet your suspenders.
Ouch!
Bounty's the quicker picker-upper. Starts quicker, so you finish quicker.
Boy, the garbage that gets dumped in my sink, the food stains are bad enough. But there's germs there, too, and that worries me. So I do more than clean. I cometize. See, Comet disinfects, too. And for cleaning, you can't beat it.
Comet with Chloranol was made to clean tough, greasy food stains better than other leading cleansers. And that's not all. It kills most household germs.
So don't just clean your sink. Go all the way to Cometized.
If only you could hear what people think.
Like to be her pen pal.
Nice. Too bad he's scratching his head. Could be dandruff. Sure get a lot of junk mail.
That little itch could be showing people you have dandruff. But Head & Shoulders handles that itch, so all it shows is hair that's soft and shiny clean.
Well, 3A? Oh, 3B.
Try Head & Shoulders shampoo and show off your hair, not the itch of dandruff, in regular and conditioning formulas.
Don't ask me why he was there or how he got there. It was just dumb luck.
Did Loomis say anything?
Oh, yeah, he said plenty, but he said it with his gun, eh?
Troy, that doesn't make any sense unless you gave him good reason.
Look, I didn't do nothing, Dee Dee.
Okay, then, was there any kind of a noise or any kind of a disturbance, anything at the studio that might have attracted police attention?
Look, it was as quiet as a church. I had a little conversation with your friend Jody Travis, and I left, and there was this Loomis guy waiting with a gun in his hand.
And the gun was already drawn.
Yeah, right, and it fired, and it fired it did.
Troy, it doesn't make any sense for the gun to be drawn unless there were suspicious circumstances. Did you tell all of this to the police?
Of course I did. But, you know, I don't think they bought it.
But it was the truth, wasn't it? I mean, you didn't do anything threatening, did you?
No, Dee Dee, look, so help me. The guy was waiting out there with a gun in his hand, a loaded gun.
And he fired without provocation?
Look, if I hadn't opened the door to show him that Jody Travis was all right, I'd be downstairs on that slab instead of him.
And you felt that he was going to fire again?
Look, I knew he was. Look, I did what I had to do.
Troy, you didn't deliberately turn the gun against him, did you?
I didn't want to leave the man dead. I just wanted to leave him. The whole thing is one big accident, but you try explaining that to a bunch of his fellow officers.
Hey, Troy, I believe you.
Well, that makes two of us.
The only thing I don't understand is why were you there in the first place?
Like I told you, I was just checking out the drama studio.
But why?
Look, I don't know. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I thought I could be, look, an actor or something. I don't know.
Oh, Troy, was that the real reason, or are you hiding something from me? Answer me, Troy.
What difference does it make? I mean, the case is over before it starts, cut and dried. If you don't believe that, ask your cop friend.
Well, I'm sure you'd like more coffee. I'll fix some.
And Nancy, I'll join you. I think maybe Mike and David could use some private conversation.
Something tells me I've been a bit obvious, Mrs. Saxon.
Nonsense. I understand perfectly.
We could always go in the study.
No. You stay here. Just call when you're ready.
Thank you. Mike, there is something I wanted to tell you, something confidential.
Something to do with that phone call you made?
Yes, I made that call because of what Mrs. Saxon told us. About Fowler Wilcox being a prime candidate as head of the CEA. As I said, I had absolutely no knowledge of anything like that.
It came as a surprise to me, too.
Well, I called someone in Washington who would know about such things, and he was a bit embarrassed that I did know.
I can understand that. To consider someone for the top security job in the country who turns out to be a security risk.
Well, I'm sure that's why it was never made public.
But, David, is it really important? Now, I mean?
It might be. Extremely important. You see, I asked this man whether or not Wilcox, because of his imminent appointment, had access to any other documents besides the ones that were missing.
And did he?
Apparently, yes. All of them, Mike. He had received a complete briefing on the status of CEA operations. He could have pulled any file of any classification. I mean, any.
But why are you worried about that? You know which documents were missing.
I thought I knew. They weren't vital losses, being strategy papers. Strategy could be changed.
But then you think something else was taken?
Not taken, Mike. Copied.
Geraldine, give me your honest opinion. Do you think that there's even the slightest chance that Raven will win over your nephew?
Well, let's see. If I were to be perfectly logical about this, I would say never. Not in a million years.
And if you were to be illogical about it?
Oh, Nancy, I'm not sure I can predict the actions of either Raven or Skylar. They are two of the most unpredictable people I have ever known.
A perfect match.
Perhaps. But still, I think probably they would drive each other crazy. But apparently the young lady in whom Skylar is most interested at this moment is Valerie Bryson.
Yes, I did know that she has been seeing him.
You don't seem too pleased about that.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with it. They're both unattached, and certainly your nephew is a very attractive young man.
Oh, yes, Skylar has his charms, to say nothing of his fortune. It would be a rare young woman who wouldn't be interested in that, too.
Well, I think that Valerie is rare.
But human, my dear. Oh, yes, I'm sure there must be 100 young women in town who would give anything to be in Valerie's shoes.
Yes, I'm sure there are.
That bothers you, doesn't it?
Well, Geraldine, you know that Mike and I feel close to Valerie.
Yes, I know that.
And we're concerned about her, and we want to be sure that she's happy.
But you're not just sure where that happiness lies. She's been seeing that other young man recently, hasn't she? Jim Diedrichson.
Yes, she has. As a matter of fact, she still is seeing him. She isn't dating either one of them on an exclusive basis.
And that's her privilege, of course.
Yes, I know that she likes Jim. He seems to be facing a rather uncertain future himself.
Yes, Skylar did mention that to me.
Apparently, he's hoping for his theatrical career to catch fire.
And while he's waiting for that, Schuyler undoubtedly is dazzling that poor girl.
Geraldine, what kind of a match do you think that would be? Valerie and Schuyler. I mean, she's so open. She's loving and generous.
I know, my dear. And my nephew is none of those things. He's much more Raven's type.
Oh, I've got to get up. I've got to find out what's going on. Oh, get away from me!
No, it's all right. Mr. Foley has offered to explain himself.
Honey, look at you. You're drenched.
Oh, are my sinuses stuffed?
You need Dristan long-lasting nasal mist. It's deep penetrating, so it'll help clear your sinus congestion.
Look, in just seconds, Dristan shrinks swollen nasal membranes, penetrates deep to break through nasal congestion, helps open sinus passages, and helps keep them drained all day.
Hey, that Dristan sure does penetrate. My sinuses are feeling better already.
Dristan long-lasting spray helps clear sinus congestion.
New Tidy Cat 3 is a hard-working cat box filler.
Oh, Tidy Cat 3. When you go,
One.
It deodorizes better.
Two.
Absorbs like a real go-getter.
Three.
It leaves a clean, fresh scent. Tidy Cat 3. Got three-way odor controller. So when you go.
It's one hard-working cat box filler.
On One Life to Live, Cassie's innocent date turns into a kidnapping, and the Blood Moon killer is revealed.
No, you know, huh?
If I hadn't lied, she'd be there with Gary instead of with Kyle.
One Life to Live.
So what you're saying is it may be more important for us to catch this George Foley to find out why he's so interested in the matter.
There must be a connection to the Fowler-Wilcox case. If he's going around asking these questions about Jefferson Brown...
Now, wait a minute. If Brown is the real culprit...
I'm not ready to swear to that yet, Mike. Maybe they were even Confederates.
Oh, I'm sure you don't really believe that.
All I know is I have a terribly uneasy feeling right now. We have got to do everything possible to get our hands on this man.
Well, go on, George. You must have something to say for yourself. Tell us why you were pretending to be a, what was it, counter-espionage agent?
You were lying, I heard you.
I thought you were supposed to be my caretaker, George. You and your sister Yvonne.
Caretaker?
I hired them from an employment agency to take care of the estate during my absence abroad. Is that correct, George? Yes, it's what we were doing. Apparently you've been doing more than that.
He drugged me, look.
Stop! But it wasn't loaded anyway. Are you all right?
Oh, I feel a little weak.
Don't you think it's time you told me your name?
My name is Raven Whitney.
Hey, big buddy. Oh, you'll be scrubbing those mildew stains for hours. We got a tennis game.
I don't want to scrub, but I promised Emily.
Oh, you don't have to scrub, not with Tilex Instant Mildew Stain Remover.
I can't clean this without scrubbing.
Tilex can. It's powerful. Just spray it, then leave. Mildew stains begin to disappear on contact with no scrubbing.
The mildew stains are gone.
Tilex is powerful.
Yeah, now let's see that powerful serve.
Mildew stains gone in minutes. Scrubbing's gone forever. Use only as directed.
Wonderful salad dressing. How do you do it?
That's my secret.
Oh, Mom.
Shh. That's my secret. Hidden Valley Ranch. This is Ranch Original. I just add milk and mayonnaise. It makes up so rich and creamy. It's unique, Kath, just like you.
Delicious.
See? A secret this good is worth keeping.
Ranch Original and our newest Harvest Onion from Hidden Valley Ranch. Unique flavors.
Secret recipes. Shh.
Tonight, meet a woman who was buried alive and learn about a couple who became overnight millionaires on the season premiere of That's Incredible. Then Clint Eastwood is a one-man army that can't be stopped, blazing a trail of vengeance through Texas, the outlaw Josie Wales. Friday, not since Houdini has one man challenged the terrors of the grave or the watery depths. See the world's greatest escape artist. Then TV's biggest stars go for it on Battle of the Network Stars.
Tonight on ABC's World News Tonight, starving for attention. Anorexia and bulimia sufferers obsessed with being thin at the cost of their health.
I never really wanted to lose weight, but I had this terrible fear of gaining it.
Can they be helped? ABC News, uniquely qualified to bring you the world.
If you can see only one show, make it the one show you'll remember the rest of your life. 42nd Street. Call Telecharge 246-0730. Some seats available this week.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Ernie Anastas. Coming up today in the 5 o'clock Eyewitness News, the search for the killer of a 17-year-old Queens girl. She was apparently thrown from the roof of her building after being sexually assaulted. We'll have the...